What's up everybody, Brody here with Sew Yeah Quilting. Today in this tutorial we're going to be making these super easy drawstring bags. Let's get started. So this tutorial is a little bit different than our normal tutorials. If you guys follow us on social media or on the Newstash and Destash, you know that we like to do some good in the world and do some service projects. We just finished up our Alaska quilt drive and got over 200 quilts donated by all of you, and we really thank you for that. Our next service project we're going to be focusing on over the next few months is we're going to be making these drawstring bags for a soup kitchen up in Rhode Island. One of our regular customers that shops on the Destash watched the show, and we called her and when she let us know that she had a soup kitchen and offered to do these hygiene bags, what we're gonna do, that are drawstring for her and the soup kitchen. So this one right here is a Tula Pink bag. We also have some red, white, and blues, which are my favorite, as you all know. And we're gonna show you how to make these on a serger or a regular domestic sewing machine. Super easy. All you need, I'm gonna hold it up right here, is a 1/2 yard cut of fabric and either some ribbon or some cording, and you're off to the races. Let's get started. So like I said in the introduction, all you need is a 1/2 yard of fabric. We're gonna jump right into it, okay? And as I'm sewing, I'm gonna be telling you like, hey, you can use this on a regular machine like this, so you don't all have to have a serger. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our 1/2 yard cut of fabric, and it's 1/2 yard by width of fabric. We're gonna put right sides together, so I'm gonna open it up, right sides together, line up our edges here, and sew or serge straight down one side. You don't need to cut off a lot, I'm just cutting off a tiny bit. If you're doing this on a domestic machine, you're just gonna sew it with like a zigzag stitch just to hold it together, okay? So I'm gonna do one seam here. So all the way down to the edge, you're gonna go right off the edge and finish it off. Again, if you're using just a regular machine, all you need to do is just use a zigzag stitch or some kind of a utility stitch. So I just finished my first seam here, so it's gonna look like that, okay? Now what you're going to do, again, super easy. I haven't even changed the colors on my serger here because it's just something simple you can do. You have your serger sitting there, grab a 1/2 yard, give it a try, okay? So now we have one side serged. What we're going to do now is, this is where we're gonna be pulling our drawstring through, is on this top side here. So we're just gonna reinforce this real fast. On a serger, you're just going to sew about 4 inches down and come off the side. On a regular domestic, you're just gonna zigzag about 4 inches down, okay? So bring this over here, doing the same thing. So as you can see here, if you're using something that has kind of an overall pattern to it like this, you can just lay down your ruler on top, and I can see that the bottom of these lines here, that's where my 4.5 inches is. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just sew here, and when I get to my mark, I'm gonna take it off the edge where the blade is, so right there, and just finish sewing or serging that edge. So just like this, okay? Same thing on the other side. So I'm gonna grab the other side, bring it right on top, like this, stick it under the edge, and 4 inches down. Pop this guy back on top, so it's the bottom of this line here. Just like that, on to the next step. All right, so I finished both my sides here, reinforcing them. Now this is what we're gonna do. We're going to lay this down on our mat, just like this, and we're going to measure down and fold 2 inches down from our edge here. So I'm gonna grab my ruler, put it at 2 inches. So that's 2 inches right there for me. So I'm gonna do the same thing all the way down and make sure that this is all the same. Looks like I'm getting a little skinny here, so I gotta make this a little bit deeper. There we go, just like that. Now you can iron this, you can pin this. I'm just gonna kind of eyeball it. You don't have to be perfect with these, okay? So I'll put that there. Again, nice thing about these geometric prints that have lines in them is it's the same all the way down. So doing the same thing over here. Okay, now what we're going to do, we have this fold like this, we're going to flip our project over like this, and we're going to sew or serge this edge together. One thing that's really important is that you get this piece out of the way here, okay? This is actually take 2 for this video. The first time I did it, I caught that edge in there. You guys know the rest. Turn it into a giant handkerchief. So, what I'm gonna do is you can pin it if you'd like, but I'm going to take this here and I'm going to put it about 1/8 of an inch from this top seam. So this top piece here. This is the wrong side of the fabric. This is the one I'm working with. I'm gonna grab just a Wonder Clip. I'm gonna pop one on here. And the rest you can just, again, you can just eyeball it. So, all right. So as you can see here, I have this laid down, and this basically is what's gonna make our loop where our string's gonna go inside, okay? And we're just going to barely serge this piece off here. But if you're using a regular sewing machine, you're just gonna sew with a zigzag stitch straight down, okay? Okay guys, so I just finished serging that top loop that we made. So basically you're gonna be coming out looking like this, okay? So this right here is where you're gonna run your drawstring through eventually. So now, we're one seam down and we're ready to rock and roll. So what we're gonna do is turn it back to right sides together. And we're going to line up our top edge right here. And we're going to sew or serge straight down this side. Now obviously, make sure that you don't run over your loops that you just made because you won't get your drawstring in. So I'm going to get these lined up right how I want them. Basically just flush with one another. Bring it over to our machine. Now I like to start this from the bottom, so the bottom of the bag, just because it makes it a little easier than trying to fight the bulk of this through right at the very beginning. So I'm going to put this on my machine and sew straight down. Good. So as I get down to this part here, this is where the openings are, where I'm going to run my string through. As I get to this point here, if you're going to use a regular sewing machine, you're basically just going to sew up to here. You're going to go back and forth a couple of times and put a lock stitch there. On a serger, I'm just going to go straight up here and kind of serge off the edge. So bring it right through, right up to my cutter, cut a tiny bit off, and serge the rest off. Just like that. Here we go, guys. So I just finished that seam that's basically finished off our bag. What we're going to do is we're going to turn it right sides together, or excuse me, turn it right side out, and our bag is done besides our drawstring. That was what, 2 minutes? I mean, it's literally that fast. So we're going to turn it right side out. You can obviously push your corners out, but I'm going to show you a quick handy tool here. This is an easy thread. If you haven't seen these, you need one. How many times have you been threading something with a safety pin and the pin comes undone, you're trying to use tape? So basically what you're gonna do is you're just going to stick this inside of your hole. You push it all the way through. Trying to show you on this top view here. You push it through and it comes out this side. Now you're going to grab your cording or your ribbon or whatever you're using, and you're going to pull it through here like this. Exactly the same method as your safety pin, except for so much easier. And you're going to give this a tug, and it's going to pull this through your entire project. So just like this, all the way out the end. How easy that is. Now, grab your two ends and make them flush to each other. Pull it tight, and you're just going to tie a knot that's going to secure this together. Again, you can use ribbon, You can use cording, rope, whatever works best for you, whatever you have lying around. Pull it tight, and just like that, you have an easy drawstring bag. Again, what we're doing with these, we're gonna donate these to a soup kitchen that's in Rhode Island, and we're gonna be filling them with different hygiene projects. So it's gonna have towels and soap and shampoo and things that someone that would be living on the street would really appreciate and could use. Now that you've seen this demo and you know about the service project, grab some fabric, sew one of these bags, and send it on in to us so you can help serve with us and do a little good in the world. My name is Brody, teaching you how to sew like a pro. We'll see you next time here at Sew Yeah Quilting.